Welcome everybody. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 12 reasons to go to confession. And the first reason is I go to confession because I'm not perfect. It is not true that everything is fine. It is not true that everything is okay. It is not true that, well, we will figure things out at a certain point in the future. No, that's not true. The reality is I'm not perfect and I have the opportunity to be forgiven in confession. And here is the second one. I go to confession because when I go to confession, I'm always forgiven. It might happen that your friends don't forgive you. It might happen that someone doesn't forgive you if you did something wrong. But when you turn to God in confession and you say that you are sorry, you are always forgiven. And that's always good because you feel forgiven, understood, and that feels great. The third reason is I go to confession because I'm always welcome regardless what I bring up. Sometimes you bring up something in a conversation with your friends. Sometimes you bring up something in a conversation with your parents, and then you are told off. People tell you that you are a disaster. People tell you that things are not going well in your life. People tell you, hey, what's wrong with you? Okay, nothing of that happens when you go to confession. When you go to confession, I'm always forgiven whatever I bring up, and that's great because I have an encounter with God's mercy who always receives me well and tells me, go, your sins are forgiven, go and sin no more. That's always a source of courage for my life. And here is the fourth reason. Many people have told me, Father, when I go to confession, I'm born again. It's great. And that's a good reason. It is great to start over. Number 5, I go to confession because it gives me joy. When I am forgiven, when I am told, try again, when I am told, don't worry, you can perform better, keep trying, that brings me joy to my heart and a lot of cheerfulness. That's why I go to confession, because I need this cheerfulness to keep going. Number 6, I go to confession because I feel at peace. When asking many people why they go to confession, many people said that. I feel at peace. And that's the peace that comes from our conscience. When we are trying to do our best, when we recognize our mistakes and we keep trying, then we feel at peace deep down in our conscience. And that's super important in order to live a peaceful and a cheerful life. Number 7, I go to confession because I'm set really free. When I bring up my sins in confession, when I am forgiven, then I leave behind all the things that I was not happy about, right, in my life. Then I feel really free. Freedom is not only about doing whatever I want. Freedom is about the fact that all my mistakes are forgiven and they are left behind, and I become a new person, and I have the taste of that freedom once and again. Number 8, I go to confession because the score goes back to 0-0 again. So it is great to start over. It is great to have a new opportunity. It is great to start a new game in which I can win. So going to confession gives me hope. Number 9, I go to confession because it's my oil change. Let's be practical about it. You cannot run forever. You need to bring your car to the shop and to do something. Going to confession is my oil change. Number 10, because going to confession, it's like pulling up and guts up to fill the tank. You need the energy. Without energy, you go nowhere. Going to confession is about that, filling up the tank so that you can keep going. Number 11, going to confession is a second chance. And all of us like having a second chance to do things, right? So God knows very well the way our heart works. Everybody likes having a second chance. And God has given us the sacrament of penance so that we can have another chance. Number 12, because by going to confession, you get ready for the season. Christmas, Holy Week, whatever season in our liturgical calendar. You go to confession, you get ready to enjoy the feast days we celebrate in our liturgy. And now, once you have decided to go to confession, the question is, what should I bring up when I go to confession? And here is the first thing. Bring up things you have done and you are sorry for, because you know that those things are not good. In other words, you have to bring up your sins. All of us are sinners. All of us do things that offend the Lord. Going to confession is a moment when you bring up your sins and you receive forgiveness for all of them. God forgives everything, no matter how bad those sins are.